Happy Friday, everybody. This is First Horn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich with a quick weather update because there's a lot of things that are going to be going on this weekend and pretty complex weather pattern going on here in the eastern half of the country. What you're looking at right now is a satellite and radar loop. You'll see occasionally some storm reports coming in there. But a couple of things you note right off the bat. We've got this upper low and this cold front in the middle of the country, which extends from the upper Midwest down into the Gulf of Mexico. But the thing that has me a little worried for the weekend is not only the upper low, we'll get to that in a second, is this little subtropical type low that is off the east coast of Florida. If you look carefully, I mean, look at this thing sitting down here spinning off the Space Coast right now. It's got a nice little swirl with it, and it's advecting a lot of moisture in from the deep tropics coming in this direction. And it's been producing flooding all morning long. We've seen flood reports up near the Jacksonville area and northeastern parts of Florida. Some of that moisture is moving into southeastern Georgia. And when you look up in our area, we saw some peaks of sunshine for the first time in a while, but as expected, they're not going to last. We're going to continue to see the clouds kind of build back in. This time, there are likely going to be some high clouds blowing off this little subtropical low down here. The thing I'm watching for this afternoon and for the first half of the weekend is we've got a lot of moisture offshore that could rotate in tonight and produce rain. So there's going to be rain in the forecast the entire weekend. It's just the amount of rain and the chances are going to increase on Sunday. The concern is as the upper low, which is back to the west, and let me show you where this upper low is. These are the 300 millibar heights and wind speeds. You can see our low is about to cut off right here, and it's going to spin down in here. Hopefully, cutoff lows are always a tricky forecast. And what's likely going to happen, because you got the counterclockwise flow around the upper low, it's likely going to suck up whatever this thing is, this subtropical low, and they're going to meet up here over the southeast. And the potential is there with this plume of moisture and the plume of moisture from the subtropical low that we could see extremely heavy rain and possibly some flash flooding across our area. And let me show you what that looks like on some of the model data. Again, what you're looking at here is from Weather Bell premium subscription here. This is going to show you what it's going to look like as we go through Friday afternoon into the night. We've got some scattered light showers, and then we go into Saturday. We've got some drizzle and light rain around. So Saturday is likely going to start a little wet. We may see some breaks early on, but I'm not as optimistic about it being too much drier until we get to about maybe early afternoon. And then as we go late in the day, look at that plume of moisture that develops around the upper low. And again, I think the NAM's having a tough time handling that subtropical low. But that band of storms right there, we're not planning storms, probably just very, very heavy rain. If it pivots over us, it could sit there for a day, day and a half, and produce extreme amounts of heavy rain. There's the upper low coming out of Alabama into Georgia. Let's take a different look at this. This is total rainfall. And if you look, this is out through Sunday, basically Sunday night into Monday morning. And look at some of these rainfall amounts being put out by the model data. All these browns and even some purples in here. You're talking between 3, 4, maybe 5 inches of rain. And this little axis of heavy rain, if it interacts with the mountains here, the South Mountains could see some extremely heavy rain. Let's look at the European model. I think this has a pretty good handle on the upper low. There's the low over Florida. See that 1,008 millibar low? It has it going into northern Florida. But look at this plume of moisture that develops north of it and ahead of the upper low. And here comes the upper low going into Sunday afternoon. So if the upper low does this, basically moves over the Savannah River Valley, and we get this big plume of tropical moisture, which is right over the Charlotte area, boy, watch out. That could be big-time flooding issues, especially considering we got about 3 to 4 inches of rain last weekend, and the ground is pretty much saturated. Ensemble forecasting, I always like looking at this. This is kind of, for the non-weather geek out there, what we're looking at is all the models kind of put together in one run here. This is basically Sunday afternoon. When you look at the heavy rain parameters over here on the left, you start looking at the precipitable water, the mean relative humidity, warm cloud heights, precipitable water RH. Boy, we're all in the red. Anytime you see these reds, that's heavy rain. And then when you look at the overview of the rainfall, this is the Schreff mean, or what we call the ensemble mean. The red lines are all the temperature forecasts. The green are essentially the dew point forecast. Look at this rain in the Shref Meet. I mean, this is a lot of rain starting Saturday night. There's Saturday night, 11 p.m. And then look at the amount of rain as it ramps up through Sunday afternoon. And it could be pouring by Sunday afternoon and evening. And it continues right into Monday evening. So the potential is certainly there that we are going to see some extremely heavy rain this weekend, starting late Saturday into Sunday. And this go around, there is a lot of tropical connection to this thing. So I'm going to be really concerned for the flooding potential going into Sunday into Monday. So if you live in a flood-prone area, please, please, please start thinking about what you need to do to prepare for rising waters. These waters could come up a lot quicker than last weekend because remember, the ground's saturated. The conditions of the soils and the creeks and streams are much more elevated than they were a week ago. Of course, I'll talk more about this and have continuing details as we track the upper low and the subtropical low starting today at 4, 5, and 6 on NBC Charlotte. I'll see you there.